So Bleach was actually the first mainstream anime that I ever watched. Now, I say mainstream because Pokemon isn't mainstream, Beyblade isn't mainstream, like, you get what I mean? Like, we all watched those kids shows when we were little, so I guess if we're talking mainstream, Bleach was the first actual anime that I really got into. And I got into it a while ago, so it's been a long time since I've actually seen Bleach, and I do remember a lot of the characters. I do remember a lot of the things that happen in the actual story, but because the anime is getting a new season late in October next year, I wanted to reread Bleach. Not watch the anime again, but read the entire manga from start to finish. I know it seems like a very daunting task because it's almost 700 chapters long, but I've read some very long manga in my day, so I think I'm up for the task. And let me tell you that I definitely do not regret my decision in choosing to reread Bleach, because so far it has been very enjoyable. On my community tab, I made a post asking if I should do Bleach reviews, and the majority of the votes came out saying that I should do arc by arc reviews. So I think what I'm going to be doing is reviewing the Soul Society, Arrancar arc, as well as the 1,000-Year Blood War whenever I get to it, and any other major arc that is in between there, which I'm not sure if there are any major arcs in between that. I'm probably going to be doing 3 total parts of this review series, which means 3 different videos on me reviewing Bleach. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel because I probably will be making a lot more Bleach content, especially with the new anime coming out. I'm going to be reviewing the Soul Society video, the Soul Society arc in this video. Gonna try not to go too in depth as it's gonna take a long time to plan these videos. I'm just gonna be giving my basic thoughts as I have already seen the series. As I mentioned, I do remember a lot of the things that happen, so I'm just gonna be giving my basic thoughts on this reread that I am doing. So how about I stop making 6-minute intros and actually get into talking about the video topic. Introduction of this arc was actually pretty good, since the first 70 or so chapters of Bleach were relatively boring, I guess you could say. I wouldn't want to say boring because it's not like they were bad, but they weren't anything too crazy. Maybe that's just me because I'm rereading it, but to me it was just character introductions and setting up the main plot of the story, because with the Soul Society, the main character Ichigo actually becomes a Soul Reaper and actually starts, well, fighting, which is kind of the whole point of a battle shonen. So I will say that the Soul Society is a rather upbeat part of the story. It's kind of a part in the story where things start to really pick up, and it's probably where Bleach gained a lot of its popularity back in the day. And I'm not gonna lie, the Soul Society is a very, very bingeable arc. It is extremely easy to read, and it's just always nice to have like 20-page chapters where you can just kind of scroll through, especially because they're battle shonens, they're mostly fights. You can just scroll through and it's a nice breeze to read each chapter. The fights are amazing and it's overall a very enjoyable arc. A big thing in the Soul Society is the introduction of other Soul Reapers, specifically the 13 companies, the 13 captains, the Gote 13. Since I've already seen Bleach, I'm pretty much familiar with the entire Gote 13. I know who all of them are and what groups they lead and their powers for the most part. But I gotta say that the captains have some of the coolest designs in all of shonen. Like, every captain is so unique in their own way, and I forgot how cool these captains are, especially at the beginning of the story when our main characters are so weak compared to the overwhelming power of the captains. It's pretty sick to say the least. Alright, I'm already like 4 minutes into the video and I can't help but talk about this man, Sosuke Aizen. I cannot believe in a series like Bleach there is a character as menacing and as powerful as Aizen. In all honesty, he's probably one of my favorite shonen antagonists ever, because the way this man gets introduced into his antagonist arc in the Soul Society is absolutely incredible. I remember the first time I saw the Aizen betrayal, I was just like, how is this even possible? The man is such a menace. He manipulated the group of 46, which is what I think they're called, like the 46 government official dudes. He killed all 46 of them, put the entire Soul Society under a hypnosis so they couldn't tell that the 46 were all dead, and he manipulated all of the captains into actually believing that he was working with them. This man, Sosuke Aizen, has got to be one of the most sick and evil antagonists Shounen has to offer, and I absolutely love him. This man planned the entire arc out by himself, probably the entire story out by himself. It's like he took Kubo's pen and just started drawing the whole story by himself. Like, he's just a top tier antagonist. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Aizen is really dope, but like, my dude really had to go so far as to kill Momo. Like, Momo was a really, really sweet character, and I kind of felt like I really felt bad for her when Aizen just stabbed her in the chest, especially because I knew it was gonna happen, and just seeing how nice of a person she was, but knowing what was gonna happen, it was pretty sad to see it actually happen for the second time. But at least she's alive. That's the good thing, I guess. Alright, let's actually get into the main premise of this arc. Ichigo, he's the main character. I have not spoken his name once in this entire video. Let's talk about his fight against Kenpachi. I'm gonna be honest, this fight was kind of rigged. The power scaling in Bleach, especially in the Soul Society, it's a little bit shaky. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the best thing about the arc. It's probably the weakest thing about the arc. I'm not gonna say it was bad, but I don't see how Ichigo with only Shikai is able to beat Kenpachi, the so-called most dangerous and most destructive captain of the 13. So I don't really see that happening. He did draw him technically, but still, I feel like Kenpachi should have absolutely blown Ichigo back. But you could make the case that Kenpachi wasn't fighting at 100%, and I do think he wasn't fighting at 100%. But literally a few like 20-30 chapters after, he takes on Tosen and Komamura all by himself and wins against two captains by himself, which, you know, as I mentioned, the power scaling was kind of shaky, but that isn't gonna ruin too much for me. That fight was still really dope, getting to see Ichigo and Zangetsu actually bond and become like one with each other. Overall, I really did think that Kubo did make that fight very nice, and that fight was very enjoyable to read and watch in the anime and the manga. I'm gonna just take a moment to appreciate how incredible the character designs in Bleach are. If there's one thing I have to say that Bleach does absolutely perfectly, probably better than its counterparts Naruto and One Piece, it's the character designs. Like, every single character in Bleach looks amazing. All 13 captains, as I mentioned, are so original in their own way, and they all look so sick. The main characters look sick, the side characters look sick. Some are interesting in different ways than others. Nah, but for real, Kubo knows how to draw both his male and female characters very, very well. Man, I forgot how sick Bankai actually is. Like, if you see a character saying Bankai in the manga, it's one of those hype moments that get you out of your seat. It's like Mega Evolution, but in an anime, if you know what I mean. The Zanpakuto's power level and design changes, and to me, it just gives a lot of life to the battles. Like, for example, Biakuya. Byakuya's got to have the sickest Bankai out of everyone I've seen so far. Toshiro's is also really cool. Byakuya's is like a different level, bro. When he says Senbon Zakura and he brings like the 1,000 swords and the freaking blade just shatters into 1,000 pieces, I ain't gonna lie, that is some dope ass design and that is some dope ass concept. I can't wait to see some of the designs in the manga because I did only watch the anime. I haven't seen the manga. Alright, let's talk about a fight that isn't Ichigo. Let's talk about Mayuri Kurozuchi versus Ishida Uryu. This fight, I'm not gonna lie, probably one of the top tier fights in Soul Society, and it wasn't Ichigo, surprisingly. I really did enjoy this fight because Uryu seemed like a really cool character, and I knew this fight was gonna come up, but it was much better than I remember it being. Still though, Kubo can write great fights even if it isn't Ichigo. I mean, this fight was friggin' amazing. Like, seeing Ishida go to the lengths that he did to protect Orihime, and seeing him losing his Quincy powers for the time being just to take down someone that's captain level, it was dope, man. It was really cool to see Ishida go out in a fight like that, go all out for the first time and take down someone as strong as Mayuri. Yes, there's Chad versus Kyoraku, but to be honest, that fight was good, but we all know that Kyoraku absolutely destroyed Chad, and that wasn't even what you'd consider a fight with that difference in power level. Rukia's backstory with Kain was pretty dope. The execution ceremony was cool. I already talked about Aizen's betrayal and I could talk about it a bit more. But I mean, what more is there to say than this man manipulated the entire freaking Soul Society and got all 13 captains. He touched Ichigo's sword and cut him at the same time. Ichigo was in Bankai. This man puts his finger on Ichigo's sword. Alright, last thing to talk about is probably one of, if not the best fight in the Soul Society arc, which was Ichigo versus Biakuya. In my opinion, this fight was the one that kind of was set up from the beginning of the arc. Ichigo vs Byakuya was not only a battle between two different beliefs, it was a battle between two characters who were at one point completely different in terms of power level. And there are two characters who are completely different in personality as well. This fight was freaking sick, and I'm going to go ahead and say that it's the best fight in Soul Society. Maybe Kenpachi versus Ichigo, but I do kind of have this fight ahead of it. I just love Byakuya's Bankai, I love his character, I love his idea of pride and his whole backstory with taking pride and protecting his honor versus Ichigo, who is just, I'm gonna protect who I want to protect, I don't give a crap about you. The two dynamics were amazing and their final clash was very, very enjoyable to watch. So without question, I do have to say that the best part of Soul Society was Aizen's betrayal, but if I was to pick the best fight, it would have to be Ichigo versus Byakuya. If you like this Bleach review, make sure you drop a like on the video right now because I do plan on doing a review for the Arrancar / Espada arc. Anyways, that's it. See you later. Peace.